Welcome to chapter 14, Spiritual Laws. Ooh. I love spiritual laws. You know, spiritual laws impact us every single day. They impact every single aspect and facet of our lives. I like to kind of think of them as like gravity. They impact us and influence us no matter if we believe in them or not. Now, there's a lot of spiritual laws that we could talk about today, but I'm going to focus on two. And I'm going to focus on the two that pack the biggest punch. That is the law of thinking and the law of increase. So the law of thinking tells us that what we think about, we attract into our life. And the law of increase tells us that what we focus on, that brings more of that into our life. So remember the 10 by 10 by 10? You're thinking about what you have in your life and then you praise it. You focus on it. That's attracting these things into your life. So the more clear that you get about your vision, okay? The more clear that you get about the future that you want, the more that you're able to focus on your priorities. And the more, because you're focusing on that, again, you're activating the law of thinking and the law of increase. So that's working in tandem to bring you what it is that you want. So I want you to think about how you talk about yourself or to yourself on a daily basis. I want you to think about your weight, your finances, maybe your love life, and I want you to recognize that these laws, the law of thinking and the law of increase, are actually in motion, especially in those areas of our life. I mean, it's in all areas of our life, but these are the ones where we can focus on the most. If you think about your weight, people that have weight issues think about it all the time. They're obsessed about it. And because they're thinking about it, it attracts more things for us to look at and focus on. And when we focus on the weight or the debt or the shitty love life or even the fabulous love life, we get more of that. So it makes it really hard and challenging to break out of that cycle. And because of that, it's so easy to get caught up in the bullshit of the day-to-day living and what's not working, but through practice. And I hope that you now have seen the method to my madness. Through more practice and more focus, this begins to work more in your life. The 10 by 10 by 10, the getting really clear on what you want and just doing one baby step a day. You start to see through this practice, through the habits of being intentional, that you can start to get the kind of life that you want. And the more that you do that, the easier that it is. So we're going to look at your environment again. And I know that we've touched on this many, many times throughout this course and throughout this program and throughout the book if you are reading along with us. Your environment is one of the most important and biggest influencers of your mood, of your health, of your mindset, and really of your overall well-being. Everything that you have in your home has meaning attached to it. It's got meaning attached to it. So the mug that you use every single day for your coffee, where did you get it? Was it a gift? Did you find it? Did you pick it up at a thrift store? Did you buy it at Neiman Marcus or Macy's or wherever? Think about the wall hanging that you have in your office or a lamp that you have in your bedroom or the couch that you have in your living room or the throw pillow, whatever. Everything that you have in your home came from somewhere and it's got meaning behind it. It's got energy attached to it, okay? How does that energy feel for you? When you look at it, what do you think? What do you focus on? Okay? How does that energy feel? Does it feel good? Does it feel like you want more of that energy in your life or less of that energy in your life? Think about that, okay? I also want you to kind of think about the shops that you frequent. Let's just say that you're having a bad day and you're just like, I just want to get out and do some retail therapy. So you go drive and you go to one of your favorite shops. or 3 of your favorite shops, what do they have in common? Because what you're doing is you're feeling the frustration of your current life and you're escaping to another realm, to another vibrational frequency. So when I intentionally was creating my life and rebuilding it from the ground up after my divorce, I looked at the places that I just loved to go to. So I love to go to Ethan Allen, to West Elm, to Pier 1, to Target, to Whole Foods. I just love to go to these places. And I asked myself, I'm like, okay, why do I like going to these stores? Why am I always drawn here on like a bad day or whenever I felt like I needed a little pick-me-up? And what I did was I intentionally looked at like, what do all these stores have in common? What are the elements that are here? Because what I was thinking is I want to bring this home. I want to, like, as I'm rebuilding my life, I want to bring some of these elements in so I don't feel like I have to escape and go someplace else. I can just go to my living room or go to my bedroom or go to my bathroom or whatever and have those elements with me, have that vibrational frequency of that place lift me up, raise me up, nurture me, and really just be in that space so that it feels like my sacred sanctuary. And so what I did was I noticed the colors on the wall, I noticed the smells, I noticed the sounds, I noticed the lighting, and I became very aware of the vibe, just like the vibe that I was craving from each one of those places. And so what I did was I literally went and I didn't shop. I'm like, I'm gonna go and I'm just gonna feel the vibe. And like Barnes and Noble, all those places. And I realized that each one had a certain element that I wanted to bring in. So I intentionally brought those elements in. I brought those vibes into my space. So in the furniture that I purchased, when I replaced my old furniture, what I did was, as I was replacing old worn out pieces of furniture, I asked myself, does this have the vibe and the energy that I'm craving, that I want? That when I sit at my kitchen table, am I going to feel wealthy? Am I going to feel like I'm in a magazine? Am I going to feel uplifted? Am I going to feel supported? When I sit in this couch, how is this going to make me feel? Is this luxurious or is it janky? Like, really? So when I went to pick out paint, I picked out this dark blue, bold color. You can go to my YouTube channel, you can check it out. I have since moved from that home, but I picked this dark blue, bold color and it was so fancy and I was like, ooh. And every time I walked into that room, I just felt like I was walking into a magazine. And why not feel that way in your own home? Why not? Like, it's not just for magazines, people, okay? Like, use magazines and Pinterest as your inspiration. And it was not expensive to bring these elements into my home, especially if you're really, really intentional about the vibe that you want to bring in. Again, your awareness, your home, your environment influences literally everything else. It literally dictates if your life is going to suck or if it's going to be freaking amazing. Because if you're surrounded by clutter, if it's sloppy, if things are broken, well, look at what you're putting up with, okay? Again, you're uncomfortably comfortable. So when you're very intentional, you start to create a life that you're excited about. I mean, honestly. So when you are sloppy about what you bring into your space, that's the energy that's going to surround you. But when you're really intentional about it, you are in control. You are in charge of the spaces that you occupy. So the reason why your environment is so vital, and again, I know that I've said this in so many of these lessons, it's so vital to creating a life that you love and a life that you're excited about, is because we spend the most time here. We spend the most time here. Everything you own, And everything that you have in your space has energy that permeates into your very being when you are in there. This is just basic science, okay? Nothing is solid. Things appear solid because it's moving at a slower frequency, okay? Everything is made up of energy and matter. And so you're commingling with everything in your space. So your space literally sets the tone for your mood and for your optimism. It influences your thoughts and therefore what you focus on. That's why these two spiritual laws are so vitally important. So if you have a place that's dingy, that's cluttered, that's messy, with things you don't really like, how the hell can you feel excited about life? You can't, okay? So intentionally creating your environment is a form of self-care. Because again, I'm going to say it again, your environment influences your thoughts, which influences the actions that you take on a daily basis. And those actions that you take determine how you feel mentally and physically and emotionally. So when you feel off or when you feel funky or you feel like life is hard and we're not quite sure how to fix it and we don't quite know what makes us feel our best. And we don't quite know how we can shift from, okay, so I've got this environment that I'm not quite sure that I like. I know that I want to change the paint here and I know that I want to change my couch. I want to change all these other things. But we're going to kind of shift into now looking at, instead of the environmental clutter there, we're going to look at inside, okay? We're going to look at your best self. So we just looked at bringing those fabulous elements in so that your environment could be the best that it can be. And it might take a little bit of time, but if you have a space that is so nurturing and you're like, yes, I love this, it's so good. Now let's look at you. So I want you to think about, here, I'm going to share with you a exercise that I did, well over 20 years ago. And it helped me really figure out how I personally could be my best version of myself. And it's called the best self list. And this is something, because it worked so well for me, I've shared with my clients ever since. So the best self list is essentially a list of things that you personally do when you're feeling the best. Not what anybody else is doing, but what you're doing when you feel your best. So when you're writing out this best self list, I want you to think about all aspects of your life and what you're doing, okay? So once you create this list, what I want you to do is I want you to put it up so you can see it every day, every other day, at least once a week. And anytime you feel funky, anytime you feel off, ask yourself, okay, what am I not doing? Because you already, in this list, you're writing down, when I feel my best, 100%, I get 8 hours of sleep. I have sex with my partner once a day or twice a day or once a week. I take my supplements every day. I do meditation. I go for a walk. So these are the things that you know you do when you feel your best. So if you're not feeling your best, ask yourself, what am I not doing? Why am I feeling funky? If you're feeling funky, it's because you're not doing something that you know makes you feel really good. So what you can do then is just refer to this list. You look at it and you can pinpoint exactly what you're not doing and what you can do to feel better in this moment. Now, to help you with this, I've actually given you in PDF form under this video my best self list so that you can see what I do when I'm feeling my best. Now, again, this best self list acts as such a powerful reminder to keep your environment clear from clutter and to keep your mindset right so that your vibration can be clear and so that you can start to have a life that's full of meaning and that's fulfilling and that's exciting. And again, when you're really intentional about this, what you're doing is you're activating the laws of thinking and the laws of increase, because you're focusing on what you want more of, that makes you feel really vibey, that makes you feel really good, that makes you feel your best. So this activates those laws even more so. So once you've created your very own best self list, what I want you to do is head on over to the next lesson. And remember, it only takes a small 1-degree shift to make magic happen and create a life that you're excited about.